There we go. We are live. Everybody, hello. Welcome back. It is DelVally Sports Pod, episode number 21. It's a victory pod. It's a loser pod. It's a holy hell. What is going on in Philly sports?
It's a 21.
Please, we need house wins right now. We need table wins. Let's go. Paint it. We need the ace on the jack. Oh, all right. Where do we start? We start with the Eagles. Good win by the boys over the best team in the AFC, arguably.
Sword.
Yes. Looked really good. Slow early. 3-3 after the first quarter.
By the way, shout out to producer Pfaadt for joining us in the whole crew here, by the way.
Yes, absolutely.
I know you are eager to get going here, Colin, but come on, pal.
Come on.
I'm very
formalities, brother. Come on.
I'm burying the lead. Yes, producer Pfaadt is joining us live on air for the first time.
Hey guys,
shout out. He's been the one handling all the social media accounts, including the tweet that went viral, which got us a bunch of views. So thank you, Pat. Shout out. I buried the lead on that. I'm sorry.
My name is Marcelo Zuna from the Atlanta. I'm from the Atlanta Braves. You may have heard of me.
In the Braves.
I'm sort of a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal. My apartment does not smell of leather-bound books and rich mahogany. That's for sure.
We know, Marcel. This isn't your first time being pulled over for this, buddy.
I'm Ozuna from the Braves.
Take your ticket and go on your way, Ozuna.
Swing and a miss there. Nice trying to get out of the ticket, but didn't work. All right, let's get back on track here. We might get off the rails since it's been a couple days and a lot has happened. Shout out to the Eagles. Big win. Dallas Goedert played very well. Jalen Hurts played very well. I believe they were 4 for 4 on the tush push, including getting Jalen Hurts in the end zone. He got his big old ass in the end zone.
He had a 5-yard run on the tush push, the brotherly shove. They called back because they keep mistaking Jason Kelce's left arm for the guard/tackle. It's unbelievable. It's the second time it's happened. It's because he lines up in a 4-point stance. Yep. He said, you know what I'm going to do? Might as well load up with a 4-point stance for it. And that's the second time they've called a penalty on the wrong arm. He needs to go the
AJ Brown route and wear pink gloves so they know it's him.
I love that. I absolutely
love that. Or like a pink arm sleeve on both hands or something vibrant to differentiate himself from
his
Dickerson.
Kid would love that. She loves the AJ Brown shoes.
Yeah, absolutely. Kelsey's kids would totally know he's leading the way and which arms are his dad's. So
and by the way, one of those was around our own 30-ish yard line.
Yeah, it was on their own 26, I believe, in the fourth quarter.
Coach said, punt team.
A little ballsy. What? No.
Timeout. Get them out there. Let's run the damn play. And it's, unbelievable because obviously you put a lot on the line there. You don't get that. You're definitely gifting 3 points, potentially 7. Obviously, a very high explosive offense, ballsy move, and then we just end up driving down the field. But it all starts with that gutsy call, and the boys delivered as they always do with the old brotherly shove, tush push, whatever that.
It's the tush push. They're always getting it. All right. If everyone could do it, everyone would do it. Per Sirianni. All right.
That's a good.
Learn how to do
Sirianni.
Everybody would if they could, but everybody can't because Kirk Cousins can't.
I was going to say, look at that game.
Oh, my God. He took the ball and, ran backwards, and they're like, oh, here we go. No wonder it doesn't work. You have an old deceased man playing quarterback. Don't try and push him.
It was both teams, though. Both teams tried that play. Both teams tried that play multiple times and failed multiple times. It was crazy. In that one game alone, it exemplifies that, okay, it's the play, but it's also the way that we do the play. Just watch that one game. It was crazy.
It's the personnel and the execution. They do not have the same offensive line. They do not have the same quarterback, and they do not have the same buy-in from everybody pushing the quarterback from the back end. Those three things are a combination that make it work for the Eagles, and not every team has that.
Don't you think it's funny that teams like want to do it, but they want to try to be like a little bit different? Like they refuse to take the same exact formation. They just like almost take it. Dude, why? Like it's like there's so much pride in football coaches that they're unwilling to just do the exact same play that clearly works. Have you noticed that? It's like, just do what works. Stop, like put your pride aside and just watch the film and run the damn play. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if it's an actual like passing route combination that you steal a route yard for yard, there's a copycat that kind of could be looked down upon, I guess. But on a play as simple as this, just follow the playbook. It's right there in front of you. Just do it. But they can't.
I wonder what our percentage of success rate on that is. I don't know how you would possibly find that, Patty, but
I swear I saw it during the game. I thought they said Jalen Hurts is like 94% on QB sneaks.
I got it right here. It says a lot. Very successful. Very, very successful.
That's the eyeball test tells me.
They did put it up at some point during the game, and I'm pretty sure it's almost 95% since the start of last year when they started doing this whole thing. So good on them. Keep doing it. What else happened? Oh, yeah. A.J. Brown is a freaking legend. Ties an NFL record with some guy named Calvin Johnson.
Is that the guy that they made all those robot movies about?
Close. He was the human version, but yes, there was a 93% confirmed on the tush push. Good job, Pat.
Just confirming.
That's an A.
Yeah, I was close. Yes, there is a Megatron in the movies, but Megatron, the football player, was pretty good. And then there was some guy named Jack Studskill. Pat Studstill. Pat is a stud still. He was on the Lions back in the 60s, so I don't count that. But, 125
Wait, he
catching
did that?
yards.
Pat Studstill also did that, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that a guy from the 60s did that. That's unbelievable.
I never heard of the dude. Pat Studstill.
It's all
I
didn't think they knew how to throw a football back in the day there.
Most people didn't, but apparently he could catch it.
That was the man, dude.
I thought it was banned to throw the football.
I thought it was illegal, too.
That was still when they had the goalpost at the front of the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
That's back before they were wearing face masks, back when there were real men playing football.
That's before
when they had leather helmets. Back when they wore leather helmets and no shoulder pads.
That's back when they weren't throwing the damn laundry all over the damn field.
The Zebras kept themselves to themselves.
That's back when guys didn't even need to get paid to play. They just showed up.
All right. I'll get us back on track here. 125 yards in 5 consecutive games for A.J. Brown, tied an NFL record. If he does it again next week, he will be the only person in NFL history to do it. Thank God for that man. Thank God for Howie Roseman for acquiring him.
Yeah.
And thank God for Howie Roseman for acquiring another guy from the Titans, making the Titans GM look like a clown. Didn't they fire their GM, the Titans, last year?
They fired him last year. It was a specific moment, too.
It was right after he torched them, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
It was like directly after.
Yeah,
December 4th of 2022.
Yeah,
I remember because I was there.
I was there.
He went off in that game. And I remember seeing Monday, Titans fire their GM. I'm like, yes, Howie.
It was such a direct correlation.
They get a new GM, and he's fleecing him again. If you're the owner of the Titans, you'd be like, do not take calls from that guy.
I can't. You would think, objective fleece or not, you would think that they would just put up the stop sign after the whole A.J. Brown situation. You'd think that they would just go, okay.
Block the number?
Just block the number. Like, it's not worth it. It's not.
Same phone. Who dis?
Yeah.
So they get Kevin Byard for a 5th, a 6th, and why is his name escaping me?
And something that a player you'd put out on the curb on Thursday.
Terrell Edmonds, the guy who went and watched the Phillies with DeAndre Swift and provided some great footage.
That was good.
That is the only downside.
Yeah. You won't get to see any more baseball. There's no baseball down there in Nashville.
Yeah,
he's really into baseball, and then sees one game. He's like, now I can't watch it. Damn.
Now I'm kicked out of the city.
Who's Swift gonna go to the games with now? You think he's gonna go with Beard? I gotta figure out how to pronounce his last name.
Byard.
He's Byard.
Kevin Byard.
Do you think he's gonna go with K there? Kev there? Hey, Kev,
probably. Yeah, somebody's got to get him introduced to baseball since there's no baseball down in Nashville. But it's all right. Terrell Edmonds was not doing that well, and Tremaine Edmonds is the better Edmonds anyway. So
Terrell Edmonds was awful. He was awful.
Yeah, I was putting it lightly.
Oh, he was awful. I'll put it. I'll go down there that road. He actually led the team, I believe, in tackles with 8 this past game. But just because you're tackling doesn't necessarily mean you're doing a great job, especially if those are a lot of coverage tackles. It means potentially you're stopping the run, but also means potentially you're letting up a lot of catches. So I don't know how we got all those 8 tackles, but I hate watching him. So we do know one thing about Byard, and that is he is 100% definitely an upgrade from what we currently have. How great is he? That's a little bit to be determined. When I first saw the reactions, I actually thought people were overreacting a little bit just because he's a little bit older. He's like 30, 31. And he's got this year and next year. We'll see how the cap plays out, how they deal with all that if he does stay around for next year too. But I feel like the first reaction is, oh my gosh, we got another AJ Brown or another superstar. I don't know if he's still that guy. He's been very good in the past. One of the things that I like the most about Kevin Byard, he has started every single game for the Tennessee Titans. I do not believe he has missed a single game, and I believe that amounts to 120 football games. That shows durability. That shows toughness, reliability. That is very good. And I've heard great things from Tennessee guys. He's very versatile. He can play little man, little coverage. Just very, very versatile player. What you really want your safety to be. It gives you a lot of options as a defensive coordinator, which I think our coordinator really likes that versatility in general. A lot of guys in and out on that defense in the secondary there.
Yeah, big time. And do we know if Reed Blankenship is coming back next week? I'm not sure. I know he didn't play this past weekend. He's still working with the ribs. So we'll figure that one out. But yes, Kevin Byard, former All-Pro by every possible metric, and an upgrade over Terrell Edmonds. Definitely good to know that Howie is trying to keep this team at the elite level that it already is and not just settle for mediocre at spots where they're lacking.
Yes, I love that. The settle thing is not a given. I know it may seem obvious, like, oh, upgrade where you can. But there's a lot of guys that are willing to go, I built this thing pretty good. It'll work out. It'll be good. And that's huge for me. I love that.
Because general managers in the NFL have an ego. Some of them deservedly so. Howie could have an ego because he's been so good, but he doesn't. And he's continually trying to make the team better, especially after injuries. I mean, you go back to 2017 when they got DGIII. I mean, they already had Blunt and Corey Clemens. Boston Scott wasn't there yet, I don't think. But he's like, let's add another piece. The running back position might be our weakest position right now. Let's upgrade. We have the team to go to the Super Bowl. Let's not rest on our laurels, be complacent. Let's keep going at this. That's what he did with Kevin Byard, and I don't think he's done. I definitely don't think he's done. He's going to make more moves before the trade deadline.
First of all, one comment, then one question. My comment is, and it's awesome that he made a trade. I know the deadline itself is not very far, but as far as football goes and trades go, this was pretty early. I think next Tuesday, I believe, is the trade deadline. This is pretty early. You're not hearing about other teams making trades right now, big trades, big name trades. So pretty early. Cool that he got on top of that. Secondly, here was my question to you is, do you think when we got out of the offseason, the preseason, all that, it was all along how he was thinking we're going to need another safety? Or do you think this is more 100% this Edmonds guy didn't work out, the youthful talent isn't really panning out the way I'd like it to, injuries, I need a new guy? Or do you think this was maybe in the back burner the whole time? I know it's tough to answer that, but
I think he wanted to see it play out to start the season. Obviously, they had faith in Blankenship, I want to say. But after him going down and seeing the backups that they had, namely Terrell Edmonds, and again, some of these guys are kind of – I think Mekhi Gardner playing safety. I mean, that guy was 4th, 5th on the depth chart at safety and had to get some reps a couple weeks ago. So I think Howie wanted to see how it would play out. But Reed Blankenship going down brought the backups into the fold, and he realized that we need more than just depth. We need actually good players. So if they had played well to start the season and nobody had gotten injured, maybe we wouldn't be in this position. But that's part of the way sports work. Is it's a reactionary business. You take it week by week. You see what's working. You see what's not.
Yeah.
And you improve on the things that's not. So I think it was in the back of his mind, that they might have to make some upgrades, but he wanted to see it play out first.
Okay.
That would be my answer.
And it's funny how people are all of a sudden talking about Roby, and Roby's played really well, but it's just funny how he's now the name is like the slot guy. Like, oh, is Roby going to be back soon? This guy was not even on the team. He was not on a team weeks ago, and he's already – I find that to be interesting. A credit to him and how he has been pretty decent to start off his first couple weeks with the Eagles. Speaking of injuries, how about the injuries in the secondary, just as how they relate to this past game against the Dolphins, man? Gee whiz. I thought this defense stepped it up in a way that none of us expected.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you hold Tyreek Hill to 88 yards. That for a man who was borderline breaking, I think he did break the record for the first 6 games of an NFL season for a wide receiver. You hold him to 88 yards, that's a pretty damn good feat, yes, considering the way the secondary has been going into this game. Absolutely.
It's funny. I find myself watching when I watch a lot of football and I keep seeing a guy catch the ball. You're like, oh, come on. Like, can't you cover him? Pretty much every time I watch Tyreek Hill catch the ball and then run after the catch, I can like never get mad at the defense when I just watch how freaking fast he is. And another thing that I notice is, you know how when you see the offense catch the ball, so like a wide receiver or whatever catches the ball, it looks a certain way. And then whenever it's intercepted by the defense, those catches look unique in that it just looks different. Normally it's a defender running in and like snapping in between players, catching it, intercepting it, and then running the other direction. A lot of Tyreek Hill's catches kind of look like interceptions because I feel like he just runs around, finds a like little hole in the defense, and then just runs through it, comes back to the quarterback, catches it, and then runs around. He's crazy fast, man. He is just, and he's got, and a credit to him, unbelievable conditioning. I mean, there was the one play where he caught a touchdown. I think the play before he caught a touchdown was the one where he caught it behind the line of scrimmage and then did like 8 juke moves and moved no actual yards, but did like 8 juke moves. Great job by the defense there. I'm pretty sure on the next play, certainly the same drive, he ran another route to the end zone, made a great catch on a great pass, got a touchdown. He's a great football player. He really is. A lot of credit to
he's
him.
Fun. He's fun to watch.
He is fun to watch.
It's really hard to pinpoint another player as with the same skill set as him, like so fast, so shifty, but also having incredible hands. He's just, he's electric. It's a fun player to watch. He's one of those guys where you hate if you play him, but you wish he was on your team. So,
agreed.
All right, before we move off the Eagles here, Dan, you want to do thumbs up, thumbs down?
Yeah, let's go. You start us off.
All right, thumbs up for this. Or do we normally do thumbs down or thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. All right, we'll start with thumbs up this week. I'm going Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Not only did he have a great game, both from the catch standpoint but I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm really sorry. It's been a long weekend. Yeah, being in Arizona was a lot. Goddard 5 for 77 and a touchdown. One of his best games of the season, and we would not have the same tush-push success rate if it weren't for him getting right behind Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So, thumbs up to Goddard this week.
He's been great. He was great this week. He was great the last week. Thumbs up. The options. Okay, so I feel like the past couple weeks I could just go back and forth between the defensive line players. I just want to go back and forth, and I can't help but pick one of them. I'm gonna just go with Hassan Reddick. Pat, you can stat check me on this.
Let's go Temple, baby.
Let's go Temple. It's Jerry and the white. Jerry and the white will fight. Yeah, I like that.
He's a stud, and he started off the game so well. That's
it right there. The tone that he set. He literally told the Dolphins in some ways single-handedly, yeah, you're not going to run the ball today here, pal. You're going to have to pass the ball today. That's going to be hard too, but he was unreal. I don't actually think he got a sack, but he got, I believe, 2 tackles for loss. And one of them was 3-4 yards behind the line, and it's a run play. He was so good. He's been so dominant. He was so good. And we normally see him pass rushing well and getting to the quarterback. But man, the impact he had on the run game, which really helped to make that Dolphins offense as one-dimensional as possible. And anytime you can make an offense into an offense that can only pass the ball, you really give yourself a chance for turnovers and sacks, and it just makes their life so much more difficult, which is how that game played out. That and also the offense was very complimentary to that, in that they were able to kind of eat up clock and, again, put more pressure on that offense to pass the ball because they couldn't run it. And the Eagles ate up clock. So a lot of pressure. And, man, yeah, Hassan Reddick, shout out to you, Paul. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Go Temple.
Thumbs down is kind of difficult this week. To me, it didn't seem like there are a lot of glaring weaknesses. Maybe you would disagree. You might have the same thought as me. I'm going Brian Johnson, thumbs down.
Okay.
Because the red zone play calling is just baffling. Other than being inside the 5 and being able to get the tush push, they just cannot seem to score in the end zone. And I absolutely blame play calling. Where's Julio Jones? I know he's ancient, but you gotta have something for him. Like just go in the corner of the end zone and do what you used to do.
I don't know if that's gonna be the answer. I don't know.
You got one catch, Collin. You got one catch for 3 yards. Let's go.
Didn't you just said it yourself? Do what you used to. Yeah. Well, if he could do what he used to, he wouldn't have been sitting on his keister at home watching football, Collin. So I don't know if I can take it that far, but I do agree with your thumbs down. And one very specific example, the play that pissed me off more than any other play that he called was, if you remember last week, we had a 3rd and at least medium, if not long, and they did the quarterback run play. It was 3rd and goal from like the 7 or 8, and they did the quarterback run. It was a planned run play, and then it was 4th down, and they went for it. It was like 4th and 2 or 3. And they ran literally the same play, and that was the one that got reviewed and got called a touchdown, if you remember it. So it really annoyed me when they had 3rd and goal at the 6 or 7 yard line Sunday, and they ran the same play. Like, if this team watched any film at all from last week's game, they're probably going to know that that's on the table. Like, do a play off of that. You know what I mean? But that's the lack of creativity. It's just, hey, it worked. I worked last week. And this team is, I would say that we'd agree this team has a pretty good coaching staff. I thought that was asinine. Let's run the same play that we did twice last week in this situation. Mix it up. You have to mix it up.
Yeah. Not only is it the same exact play, it's in the same exact scenario.
Exactly.
We were talking about predictability last week. How more predictable can you get?
Yeah, that was bad. I thought that was really bad. That's the opportunity to run a play that looks like that play, maybe run something that's disguised. I don't know. That made me so mad. It was like they were, and it made me think, shoot, if he got 1 or 2 more yards and it was 4th and 2 or 3 again, I wouldn't be surprised if he did the same thing. And guess what? They probably would have been ready for that. So I'm with you. My thumbs down. Easy. It's Edmonds. Get him out of here. Oh, wait. He's out of here. Guy stinks. I don't like him. Never did for 1 second. Pittsburgh gave us their trash, and we're giving it over to Tennessee, in my opinion. Sorry to be so abrupt about it, Terrell. Appreciate your service, but
I was actually gonna say Terrell Edmonds, but then I looked at the box score. He had 8 solo tackles.
Well, that's what I said to start off. I said that thing, but like a tackle does not give you the full context,
No, not at all.
especially if you're a secondary guy. So, you know what I mean? I don't know. Is that 8 tackles that are stopping the run game, or is that 8 tackles that are catching Tyreek Hill in the open field or somewhere in the field? I don't know. But when I watch him, I feel frustrated with him all the time. I don't think he's a very great tackler. I don't think he's very physical, and I don't think he's a very high IQ type player. He's not the first time he's my thumbs down guy, so no surprise.
Hey, the good news is we don't have to see him anymore. So to wrap up the Eagles with a little bird's eye view, they play the Commanders on the road this weekend. Then next week, Cowboys come to town. For the first time all year, 4:25 kickoff, and then they have the bye. Good news, because after that, they play the Chiefs, the Bills, the Niners, and then at the Cowboys again. So it's going to be a tough road after the bye. I would like to think they can beat both Washington and the Cowboys prior to the bye. It'd be really nice to go into the bye 8-1. We'll see. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think they can take the next 2?
I feel more confident. I mean, I already feel confident going against Washington, but I feel even more confident considering how the last game went against them. I think we won 34-31 in overtime. And so we're going to take them very seriously because they very much almost beat us. They were 1 2-point conversion, one ballsy play call away from beating us several weeks ago. So I think that will have the team taking them very seriously. I think our offense, and it's got to be the bet of the week, right? This sell the house bet of the week. AJ Brown 125, right? He'd be the first player ever to do it 6 games in a row, correct? Even Pfaadt from the 60s didn't do that. So that's got to be this. I mean, and this is a team that does not have a good secondary. They don't. I'm sorry. They tried to hype up the secondary on the broadcast last time we played them. We scored 34 points. They don't have a good secondary. I'm sorry. Scary Terry tends to be very good against us. He might have some good moments, but I think we're going to steamroll these guys. I really do. I feel very confident.
Tyrod Taylor just had 279 yards against these guys. All right. I mean, I think Jalen's probably a little better than Tyrod. So,
and was it all Waller? Was it all what?
It was 98 yards to Waller, who is not having a great year.
Oh, it's like they got a new quarterback that was like, hey, let's use our best receiver. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Besides all these guys who nobody knows.
I got to say one more thing about this past game. We just need to shut up and clap for a second. The Kelly Green experience. 20 out of 20. So good. It was so beautiful. It was the jerseys. It was the logos on the field, the font in the end zones.
The scoreboard.
It's the scoreboard. How sick was the eagle on the scoreboard? And then when they panned over to the sideline and everyone is in the Kelly Green merch. Oh my gosh. They had the eagle flying across the stadium to start the game. Dude, it was so good. I just remember they would pan over the sideline. I'd be like, I'd like, honey, get my Christmas list. Like, I want that. I want that. I want that. It was, oh my gosh. It was so good. They couldn't.
It really makes
I'm so glad they won.
No, me too. It makes you never want them to go back to the Midnight Greens after seeing that team.
Seriously. I think, and it was the whole thing. It really was more than it's the like you said, it's scoreboard. It's everything about it. And I got to say this to the fans, and this just shows. I think when they pan to the stadium and the fans, how many fans were wearing Kelly Green jerseys? And there's no way.
It's unreal.
There's no way those are all like the new ones, right? There's no way they sold out after how many
There were definitely some Cunninghams in there and some other stuff, man.
There's a lot of throwbacks, which is just cool because I think it goes to show a little bit about this fan base, the longevity of this fan base, how long they've been such big fans that they're whipping out the old Kelly Green, the original probably Kelly Greens. I thought that was pretty sick too. That's rare for a team to have a retro jersey and for like a majority or a big portion of the fans in the stadium to also be wearing that. That's not common.
No, definitely not. But from being down at a couple tailgates, you'd be very surprised at how many brand new Kelly Green jerseys are out there. I would say of the ones that were in the stadium, probably 80% of them were. And that includes them reselling Carmichaels and Cunninghams and a bunch of guys. I have a Carmichael jersey that's like 80s authentic, not the updated style, but like the new Cunningham jerseys are the current style. Huh? I do. It's not quite the same. It's like the jersey you see Jaws wearing in the Super Bowl, the long sleeves and the silver stripe and whatever. It's not quite these, but yes, to your point, I would agree. Not many fan bases have a wide array of throwback jerseys beyond their normal current jerseys. So once again, shout out Phillies fans. We're better than everyone. And screw you if you think any different.
We don't care. We don't give a damn.
Well, I give a damn about some fans walking out last night.
That
in the
pissed me off. Yeah, on the other side.
We're getting into the Phillies. Damn it. God, why can't you just win a game at home? Send them to the World Series. Now you got to put us in a frenzy where I'm going to drink my face off tonight from stress or joy, one of the two. Thank God my girlfriend's coming over because I'm going to either need a shoulder to cry on or someone to put me to sleep because it's going to be one or the two. Jesus. Last night was so... Last night
as he screams into his toilet paper microphone headset.
Hey, you don't say that.
I'm sorry.
Last night was infuriating.
I had to laugh after.
That's fine. That's fine.
That white little blob their bonds are on.
A bunch of people are laughing at my expense this week, especially after my bamboozled trip to Arizona. Yeah, that's neither here nor there. Okay, quick aside on that. Chase Field sucks. Not only does the stadium itself suck, the fans suck, the environment sucks, the weather sucks.
Why?
It's dark. The fans.
Oh, it is dark. The lighting is poor in there.
Yes. It feels like an airport hangar.
Ooh.
It's a playoff game that is extremely pivotal, and the upper bowl was like only 80% filled. Every time they had a good play, I mean, they got really, excited for about 10 seconds, and then they all sat back down. Meanwhile, when the Phillies are up to bat, I'm yelling at every player. I'm like, let's go! Let's go! Come on, Philly! I'm starting up, let's go. Phillies chants in the back, and everyone's like, boo, screw you. I'm flipping them the bird. I'm like, you know what? I care. You guys are soft. To the point where I got a warning from one of the ushers. They're like, yo, buddy, you need to cool it out or you're out of here.
Yeah. Come on.
Well, I mean, I was giving them the bird after they were up 2-0 in the second or whatever it was. Yeah, details are fuzzy from the game. All I know is those fans are not even close to as passionate as we are. As soon as it went 4-0 in the sixth, people started leaving.
Wow,
it was pathetic. Yeah.
Well, that might be more of a substantial comment if it weren't for how last night went. That's the most disappointed I've been in a long time that fans were leaving that game. I couldn't never, ever, ever. Could you imagine if you left a game like that early and then the team came back, by the way? And then that's not even why I would leave. That's not the whole reason, although that is part of it. That's not the whole reason I would leave. I'm there till the end no matter what. But imagine if they came back and you left that game early. That's such bogus.
Well, I would laugh at everybody who did that because they deserve it.
Bunch of scumbag. I hate that, dude.
I have an exact example. Last year, me and my dad went to World Series Game 4 when they got no hit. I told my dad, I'm like, we're not leaving, right? He's like, no. Why would you ever leave a playoff game early unless it's like 15-0? There was a semblance of a chance. It was only 5-1.
Yeah.
With this lineup, they could have easily gone. I mean, Bryce Harper could have hit a 3-run bomb. Game changed. And the people would be out in the parking lots, Jetro lot, and like, oh, my God, they just did something. Like, yeah, this lineup isn't a slouch. They just had an off night. It was a terrible night to have an off night, but it could have changed in an instant, and people were leaving in the 8th inning. It was sad to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I truly think it has something to do with the fact that tickets are getting more expensive, and the people who can now afford these tickets or they've priced out the fan base that normally affords these tickets are not nearly as passionate. They're going because it's an event, not because they love the Phillies.
That's a strong possibility. In my brain, one of my optimistic thoughts was, oh, all the guys leaving, they must be the people that have tickets to the Game 7. So they just need to rest up a little bit. They're gonna have a long day tomorrow, and they know they're gonna come back tomorrow. So, they're not feeling like they're missing out on anything. But that's a far more optimistic approach, I guess. No, you might be right about that. Yeah.
I can't help. Well, I saw it firsthand last year in the World Series. I mean, yes, it was a bad game and they got punched in the mouth early, similar to what they did last night. But it also just walking around the parking lot, walking into the concourse, it just didn't feel like it had the same vibe as, say, the NLCS did for Bedlam at the Bank. Those two games were polar opposites, I felt, as far as energy going into the game. Now, yes, everybody was hyped up for the first inning, first pitch and whatnot, but it's sad. And for everybody to be hyping up the fan base this much and for them to do that, I mean, we can't hang our hat on that.
That's why it stinks so much. I think in like every single game, they have made note of the fans that have stayed around. So that's been noted in several games. I've noted that the commentators have said, and no one's left. No one is leaving, even though they're up by how many runs. No one's leaving. Everyone wants to stay. So,
yeah.
Arizona talked about how jealous they were of us, those guys. It's just disappointing. Really disappointing.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. What was your big takeaway from last night, Dan? I'll go to Pat, to you as well. I just one or two things that really irritated you the most about last night's game.
It was really unclear who was going first. The way you said that.
Oh, my fault. Dan, I'll go to you first. My bad.
Sorry.
I'm getting used to this jockeying thing. Dan, will go to you first, and then Pat. After
yeah. Okay. So I'm just actually go to Pat first because I'm getting a call. Dad is about to be in the stadium. So if we had a chance for a live look-in, so go to Pat first.
Sounds good. Pat, hit me.
All right. You want my disappointing thing?
Yeah. Your one or two most disappointing moments. I mean, there were a lot of them last night. Player, situation,
the most
anything
disappointing moment. It's got to be Nola. We thought he changed the mechanics. Everything's better. And we got home run hitting Nola back. He's just back to hit dingers off this guy. The mechanics were not fixed last night. They were way off. Shout out to the bullpen, though. Bullpen came in pretty well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the home runs on Nola were back.
He was
still don't like Kirkring, though. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to be pitching tonight.
Yeah.
Damn, what was the most... Yeah, true. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But, Dan, what would be your most disappointing moment from last night?
I don't know that there's really a big moment. I guess I didn't hear at the beginning what Pat said, but it sounds like I'd have a similar take, and that it was just disappointing that Nola was off and was missing his spots, and they took full advantage of that, and you give him a little credit. Nola bounced back a little bit. It's surprising that he started the game with 3 strikeouts and then completely lost his ability to pitch on the outskirts of the zone there. But yeah, honestly, it's a different loss than any loss we've had this series, because it definitely was just one of those games where I just felt just didn't have it today. There's no point in time where it felt that close. And we just got outplayed in most facets of the game. Great catch, by the way, by Rojas in center field. A little shout out to him. But yeah, we just got outplayed today. We just didn't show up today. Whereas the other losses were a little bit more like, man, we could have had it. It like hurt your gut more, right? This one sucks, but I think it more so sucks. And you get the gut check because now you're feeling the pressure of the situation of a Game 7. But as far as the game in isolation by itself, to me, it felt like, man, we just didn't have it today. We got outplayed today. Give him credit. That happens in baseball sometimes. That's why you have to win the close ones, because these games will happen. Got to move on. Got to win the next one. It didn't stick with me as much as the other ones did, if that makes sense.
That's fair. What you just said is my issue. Fans can be like, yeah, they didn't have it tonight. As players, you cannot act that way. For example, Bryce Harper striking out in the third inning, walking to the dugout with his head down. They were clearly like moping. They were not getting amped up. They were not supporting each other. They were not like, this is do or die. I just felt like the team gave up. And as players, you can never do that, especially in a playoff game. I mean, Castellanos is swinging at balls 4 feet out of the strike zone. Turner's flailing at pitches. Rojas can't hit outside of a barn. The offense was infuriating last night. No one felt like they had discipline at the plate. They were trying to swing at first pitches.
Marshy.
Yeah, Marsh had a good game, but even Bohm with 2 slap hits. I mean, that's nice, but we need him to be better in the 4-hole. And Harper is not going to get anything to hit with Bohm playing behind him. So looking forward to tonight. Would you make any changes to the lineup? Because I know I would.
Oh, no, not at all. 100% no. And I feel,
No?
but I would change approach, because I felt like the approach yesterday in the first inning was, we're going to give these top guys nothing to hit. And then after they started to get some runs, the Diamondbacks themselves, they started to be more willing to pitch a little bit to those big guys, the Schwarbers, the Turners, the Harpers. But you got to be – oh, I love that. Look at that. You got to be careful there in the beginning not to chase pitches. That's how we lost this guy last time. So I wouldn't change the lineup. I don't want to move Marsh up, because he's one of the better hitters right now, and put all that pressure on him. And I certainly don't want to move Cassie up for Bohm, because Cassie's like, Pat, if you can check this, I think he's like 0 for his last 19 or something like
19.
that. 0 for 19. He is. Somebody go find that guy and give him a map, because he is lost out there. And
that's
Bohm,
so striking.
Bohm, yeah. Bohm only got slapped. I know, because it's a game of streaks, man. It's a game of streaks. Yeah, I know, because he was so hot. But Bohm just got some slap hits. He's not smacking the ball around, but sometimes to light a fire, you just need a little spark, man. There's something to that.
There's only one player in this active Phillies lineup, the current lineup, besides Rojas, that does not have a home run against the Diamondbacks, and it's Bohmer. In over 20 games against the Diamondbacks, he does not have a dinger.
That's all season?
That is any game he's ever played against the Diamondbacks. Regular season, yeah.
What are you trying to say there, Pat? Huh? What are you trying to say?
Just saying it's not a great matchup for him, but he's got to smack a dinger one of these times. He's got to join the squad.
Are you saying he's due?
That's what I feel like he's saying.
I'm saying he's due. I'm saying he's due.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
And keyboard smash is due to let one up, all right? Pfaadt.
Pfaadt.
So looking ahead to tonight, I got about 5 minutes. I apologize, fellas. I got to run here shortly. But Ranger Suarez on the mound. I would not want anybody else in this situation. He has one of the lowest ERAs in Major League postseason history, I believe, if not the lowest. He is. He's a cool, collected. He's a cool customer, as Rob Thompson referred to him last night. Cool customer. And I think I'm just going to say right now, they're winning tonight. Because not only is Ranger going to go out and pitch like a madman, I hope Thompson doesn't pull him too early, but they also have Wheeler available. Love that.
Allegedly.
Well, I mean, if it's a tight game in like the 7th, 8th inning, why wouldn't you put him in? It's do or die.
Why wouldn't you? That's easy, though. Why wouldn't you? Because he just pitched the other day, and he's never been in that situation before. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying that's the answer to that. You could put a guy in that's been in this exact situation before, or you could put your ace who pitched a couple of days ago. That's why I'm just saying that's why you wouldn't do it. Now, damn, I'm not going to put him in instead of guys like Kimbrel.
You would put him in instead of guys like Kimbrel.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, thank you so much. Yeah, that's okay, and that's a positive. I was going to say you guys were talking about Kimbrel and Kerkering pitching yesterday. That was the highlight of the game for me. Did they pitch yesterday? Because
they're not going to pitch today.
Exactly. By default, Topper is telling me I've reevaluated some of these guys, and this is the situation that I'm willing to put them in because I don't want them in the situation that we're probably going to have tomorrow. So that was a highlight when I saw Kimbrel come in. How about them booing him, gets a strikeout, gets a quick cheer, and then gets a, boo, we still hate you, you son of a gun. That
pissed me off too.
That they cheered at all.
No, it pissed me off that you boo the guy in the playoffs when it's been 4 days since that bad outing he had.
It was two bad outings.
It was 2 bad outings. You could say he solely blew one game, and you could also say that he played a major role in us losing the other game. Obviously we got to score more runs, but yeah, I don't know, Collin. There's a build up there. We've talked about this. It would have been hard. I probably wouldn't have booed him because by booing him, I would be like not wanting the Phillies to win or him to succeed in that moment. But
exactly.
It's hard for me to get that upset though at the same time.
I know, but you gotta move on. You can be angry the next day, and if they had played the next day, then yes, boo the hell out of him. But it's been 4 days since that bad outing, and yes, he cost them maybe 2 games. But if you want this team to win, you can't be booing players as they're coming onto the field. That pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. What also pissed me off is the fact that they played Welcome to the Jungle and did the whole light show thing. You don't do that for a guy who's been struggling either.
Yeah,
when you're down that much.
Chill.
Yes, yeah. Yes, thank you, Pat. Especially when you're down 5-1, 4-1, whatever it was at the time. Yeah, if it's like a 1-run game and Kimbrel's coming in, you want to get the guy hyped up, you play that, and then you also don't boo him because there's a chance they're going to win the game. But again, the game was still in touch when you have Kimbrel come out. Why would you boo a guy that you need to succeed to have any chance to win? It just didn't make any sense to me. I was vehemently against it when it happened and still to this point.
This game tonight is huge, and this guy in the corner of your screen right now is absolutely huge. But how impactful he is also at the same time very measured, right? Because at the end of the day, there's not a world in which Ranger Suarez is probably even going to pitch 6 innings. Topper is probably and we're talking about the ceiling. There's a chance he pitches 2 innings, but the ceiling is probably 2 times through the lineup. I find it very, very hard to believe, barring the greatest pitching performance of all time, that he's going to pitch more than that. So, yes, Ranger is huge tone setter, especially since he's the one that goes out there first. Since we're the home team, they hit first. But, man, if he's got those 3 big outs, those first 6 big outs, right? But, man, I think the bats got to set the tone because the bats need to be going all night. The pitching game tonight is going to be very much everyone's available, keep the thing moving, but what stays the same are the hitters. So the hitters need to set the freaking tone and launch that ball like a rocket into outer space, okay? Because Ranger can only do so much, and I hope he is the Ranger we know, the quote, the late great Stuart Scott. I hope he's as cool as the other side of the pillow. But the hitters need to go off. They just do. They need to show us what Pfaadt really is. Okay? And you cannot let this guy be the tone setter against these bats. These bats cannot be quieted by this Pfaadt. We cannot have that tonight. We need to come out swinging. But in a disciplined manner, because that's what screwed us last time we played this, guys. We came out swinging, but not looking for good pitches to swing at. Disciplined at bats. Come on.
Couldn't agree more.
Come on.
So, all right, let's go around the horn here to wrap it up. Pat, I will start with you. I want your keys to the game and your prediction if the Phillies will win or if they go home crying. Go, sir.
Keys to the game. Get the bats hot. Keep them rolling. Man on second. Get them home. All right. Phillies win 5-3. Ranger lets up a few runs, but only two. Only two. That's it. Good to go. Phillies 5-3.
Love it. Let's go, Phils. Dan. Mr. Glasstetter.
The Diamondbacks yesterday rediscovered that they have fast players that steal good on their team. Tonight, JT needs to throw out not one, but two guys. He needs to falsify that mentality that they are going to go into this game with. Also, the bats, we need walks. We need walks. We need walks because if we get guys on base, then Pfaadt will have to plate some pitches, and then we can swing for the home run ball and make him pay. Those are the keys. Disciplined baseball. Phillies. 7-3. Come on, Phils.
I love it. All right. My keys to the game. Offense has to start in the first inning. Ranger needs to shut him down in the top of the first. And then I need Bryce Harper, Bohm, or Trey Turner, one of those guys, to get an RBI to get the crowd behind him. The only way we're going to win this game is if we get the crowd on the side of the Phillies, not get tight in the ballpark. Do not let the Diamondbacks think they have a shot. They will get to Pfaadt early. They will score at least one run in the first. That is my prediction. It's going to be a tight game. I'm saying they win 6-4, nail biter, down to the end, but the Phillies are going to the World Series. That's my prediction, boys. Let's go.
Nine innings of high decibel volume, boys. Come on.
We're talking about the Phillies.
We're talking about the Fires here.
Dude,
back to the World Series.
Let's go, dude. I hope they go back to the World Series.
162 season, a wild card series, a division series, and now the conference series, and it all comes down to one ball game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. We need to be disciplined. We got to be excited, but calm down. Take a page out of Ranger Suarez playbook. Take some deep breaths and do what we know we can do. We got to win this game. That's what it is. It's
do or die, fellas.
It's one game.
All right. To everybody listening, thank you so much for making it this far. Shout out producer Pat for joining us for the first time. Dan, I love you, brother. Let's go Titans tonight. This episode will be podcasted before the game. Rave your rally towels. Get amped up in your living rooms, at the bar, wherever you are. Let's go, Phils.
Let's go, Titans.
Let's go, fight. Go, Phils.
Bomer Dinger.